Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. This is a pleasant surprise, I must say. No one saw it coming. There was no, I mean, there's no link to a centre back. The only evidence was what Pep Guardiola said before the Crystal Palace match. He said that I'm happy with my centre back options, but maybe we'll reassess it. We'll reassess the injury situation, and maybe if we want, we will go for a centre back. That was the only little bit of a clue, and even that didn't seem like a clue. It seemed as if Pep was happy with the centre back options, and our transfer business was closed. In fact, there were many media outlets also publishing that. Pep says City won't sign anyone else in the transfer window and stuff, and and now David Ornstein's come out and said that Manchester City are very close to signing Borussia Dortmund's centre back Manuel Akanji. The fee is said to be around 17 million euros. He's 27 years old. I mean, the fee is nothing. The only thing is the fee is almost peanuts, you must say. The only thing here is, his injury record. That's been a bit of a worrying factor among people. I mean the talk about Akanji is that he hasn't developed into the centre back which everyone thought he actually would. Injuries have curtailed him and things like that. I know now some people could compare it to Gundogan, like, okay, Gundogan was also injury prone. We signed him from Dortmund and look what we did. But with Gundogan was already developed back then, and with Akanji, it's a little bit different, I must say. With Akanji, he's yet to develop fully, but at 27, I mean, let us look at his all of his attributes, Akanji's attributes. You look at the strengths over there: passing, interception, concentration. I mean, pace is one of his greatest strengths. I mean, just to have a relative measure of how Pacy Akanji is, you just go and look at his pace stats in FIFA, for example. Just have a relative measure, I'm telling. And his pace is listed as 84 or something on the recent FIFA edition. So that should actually give you a measure of how pacey Akanji is. His recovery pace is absolutely excellent, I must say. His interceptions are good, which means he reads the play well. His passing is absolutely good. I mean, I was just watching a bit of clips on Akanji before going live. I, I will confess that I do not know much about Akanji. I'm not a staunch follower of Dortmund or something like that. I do not know much about Akanji, but the thing is, when you look at his clips on YouTube, for example, you'll notice that you'll first of all think, is this guy midfielder, or is this guy actually a defender? You would not be even. I will even forgive you for thinking he's a right back. For example, his skills are almost like insane. He almost performs a Cruyff turn or something like that. He performs one or two. He sells one or two dummies to get out of tight spaces. I actually think that maybe Pep is thinking John Stones might actually not be up to it this season. I don't. I mean, this sort of a signing suggests to me that maybe Pep thinks Ake could leave, but then that doesn't make sense about Ake because Akanji is a right-footed defender and Ake is a left-footed defender. So if Pep wanted to, for example, replace Ake for next season and bring in a replacement early, then it would be a left-footed player, someone like a Guardiola, for example, but right-footed player. So I mean, maybe Laporte's injury is far more worse than expected, or maybe Pep thinks that. I mean, Pep has looked at how we have conceded goals in the last two games. He must have picked up some special attributes. There are some special patterns in the way we conceded goals. Uh, Ball over the top. For example, take Newcastle, ball over the top, and John Stones and Ruben Diaz. They're not the fastest. They're just watching the ball over the top with Alan Maxim, Almiron, Wilson running at them. Maybe Peppers looked at that and thought, if I will play this inverted fullback system, then I need at least one person with pace in my centre back pairing. It can't be Kyle Walker because Kyle Walker he lacks a bit of positional awareness for playing in a two. Kyle Walker in a three at the back is excellent, but Kyle Walker in a two, I'm not quite sure. So Pep must have looked at this situation and he must have actually thought, well, I need a centre back who is good at passing and who's pacey. I do not trust John Stones to, for example, play this role at the moment, and I think that is the reason why he went for Akanji. Tanmay is here. Hey Tanmay, how are you? He says, by thoughts on Bernardo. I hope he stays. Bernardo is staying, Tanmay. Bernardo, Pep talked about Bernardo in his previous press conference, right? And he said, after the Crystal Palace match, especially, he said Bernardo is staying. Pep also told that Bernardo has this interesting quality that when a game is not going well for us, he holds the game by the scruff of his neck. So Pep told, I would never want to lose such a player. The Bernardo saga is interesting because all this while, if a player is unhappy at City, City have let them leave. It's not like City have let players leave who are just surplus to the requirements. City have let Eric Garcia leave when we were having a bit of a centre back crisis at the back. City have left Ferran Torres leave when we were without a striker. We didn't sign Harry Kane that season, for example. So it is very rare that City want to hold on to the player. I won't say Bernardo is unhappy here, but City, it's very rare. So when that rare case happens, that City does not want to let a player go, you can understand how important he is to this system. See, Pep Guardiola knows one thing: if Bernardo went this season, we ain't winning the Champions League or the Premier League. I do not know, but we ain't winning the Champions League, for example. Pep knows that Bernardo makes the system tick. Pep knows that Bernardo carries us through when the going gets difficult. Bernardo carries us through when you have to play through a press of Liverpool, which is intense. Who of the players can play through the intense press of Liverpool? Just sit back and think. There's Bernardo against Palace. Bernardo was Messi type, just dribble through the entire Palace defense that unsettled them. So Bernardo is absolutely excellent. Rafi says it's a fact that we are conceding goals on set pieces. But Rafi, goals on set pieces, I actually think that has got to do more with organization. I mean, it's not gonna do with the individuals, but it's just gonna do with how we are being organized at the back, who is taking leadership at the back. I'm just getting a sense that Ruben Diaz is not at the top of his game. Diaz is the organizer for us at the back, and Diaz is looking a bit shaky, low on confidence. So see, set pieces depend on two things. They depend on the taker and they also depend on how you mark the spaces because City defend set pieces zonally. So there's something wrong in the leadership part back there because last season, just remember, we were the best in terms of defending set pieces, scoring from set pieces. We were the number one team if you go and check back the thing. So for me, organization and lack of defensive leadership is the reason why we are conceding goals from set pieces. Tanmay says, by Gerard Romero finished my mind by saying things are happening. Tanmay, one thing about Gerard Romero, I've always consistently said on this channel, I haven't seen any person being such an insult to his profession other than Gerard Romero. He is not doing journalism. He's just doing, some crap shit by being a mouthpiece of Barcelona, especially. He's just put out crap after he was just doing shithousery over there. So for me, Gerard Romero is an insult to journalism. That's the only thing I can tell about Gerard Romero. See, for example, look at our journalists, Sam Lee, David Ornstein. If City want to buy someone, they don't unsettle them. They don't unsettle the player, right? They just report the facts. They just go on reporting us the stories that what is happening. This Gerard Romero, it's actually a huge waste of time actually discussing about Gerard Romero as well. But Akanji signing for me, see, they say that Akanji is very smart. He's very intelligent. I mean, just going away from the attributes that are listed, right? That are shown on YouTube clips or that are actually listed there as strengths and weaknesses. Just let us just think why Pep went for Akanji. One of the prime qualities of Akanji, they say, is he's intelligent. He recognizes space. He has great positional awareness. I think these three things are extremely important if you really want to be a Pep Guardiola centre back. Because what does a Pep Guardiola centre back do? He defends space. He defends space in behind. He has to anticipate things about the space in front of him. So it's literally like two things running in your mind at the same point of time. See why Kyle Walker was not successful in that inverted midfield position. In the right back position, Walker was one of the best. That is because he just had to concentrate on his fullback, right, on his runner. But in the inverted fullback position, he had to concentrate on runners behind him. He had to concentrate on occupying the space and putting the ball into the space ahead of him. So Walker couldn't manage both the things. Lack of spatial awareness for Walker. Rivermount says, Hindi bro. Rivermount, I can't speak so fluently in Hindi, so I feel comfortable in English actually. So yeah, so I think it's about the spatial awareness that is the primary thing why Akanji has been bought. Now people are saying that Akanji could be the fifth centre back, but I disagree with that. I think Akanji could slot into the starting 11 actually. I know that there is fixture congestion, but Akanji could actually go into the starting 11 because our centre backs have been crap, they've been shit until now. See, it depends if Pep wants to, change the formation like he did against Crystal Palace. Against Crystal Palace, what did Pep do? He in the second half, Pep changed to a 3-5-2 or something like that, right? Three centre backs at the back: Stones, Diaz, and Walker. In that case, Akanji would just be a substitute, right? But if Pep really wants to play that vertical formation of of inverted fullbacks and things like that, then I think Akanji becomes a pivotal part because I do think Akanji is. I think the combination will be very good. Laporte Akanji, because Akanji has pace. Sorry, Akanji has pace. Laporte has that passing ability and stuff. So the combination would be good. Diaz Akanji would be good. So Stones, I do think Stones, the pace of John Stones is reduced a bit actually. He wasn't at his sharpest. So against Palace, against Newcastle. So actually I think Akanji could occupy John Stones' position and could slot straight in. And maybe the return of Ake could be delayed. The return of Laporte could be delayed. See, a lot of reasons here why we actually bought Akanji. Could be the system, could be for me. I'm thinking it's the system because Pep has thought what is the best way to prevent counter attacks and as well as bring the best out of Haaland. I think it's the inverted fullback system. I know people are like, again, it is not working out. In fact, I have written an article on my blog stating that the inverted fullback system might not work out and things like that. But looking at it, I think the inverted fullback system could be the answer to being much more defensively solid in the Champions League. It could be the answer to getting more out of Haaland. So I think Pep has taken all of this into consideration, and that's why he has signed Akanji. But one thing I'm happy with is finally we have signed someone who has recovery pace. That is a really really important attribute. Other than Walker, because we are becoming one-dimensional. Walker is the only one who has recovery pace right now. I mean, this could add another dimension to us as well because Walker will have the recovery pace now, and also Akanji, if he starts regularly, he will have the recovery pace. So it's two people in your defense who have recovery pace. That would make it difficult for your defenses to your attackers to attack City. Like Almiron, Wilson would not have had that much joy with us against us if we had someone like an Akanji. So I actually think that the signing is shrewd for 17 million euros last year of his contract. Good piece of business, I would say. If it works out, it's excellent because we could potentially be getting 5 years, even 6 years out of the player. Because centre backs, at 26, at 27, they come into their prime at this age. So I actually think that good signing. If it doesn't work out, then then it's well tried. It's 17 million euros. It's not like we're spending 80 million euros for Harry Maguire and stuff like that, right? So either way, I actually think that it's good actually. Either way, it's a win-win for us. And also, it seems just a cheek and tongue remark. Also, it means that we're setting up a base, from Dortmund base for Bellingham. Maybe we have Haaland, we will be having Akanji now, and could be Bellingham in the midfield who would complete this splurge of arrivals from Dortmund. We do not know. So all in all, I would say wonderful piece of business, a much needed piece of business. I would say very shrewd. Maybe Pep didn't want to, face the same situations that we faced in 2019-20 season. You remember when all of our centre backs were injured and we lost the league. We lost the league and suffered that season. Maybe Pep has seen this situation as well. He's seen what is happening at Liverpool. Their owners are not signing a midfielder for them, for example, and Pep has thought that, wow, uh, they are not getting midfielders. We should not do that mistake. Where is the most vulnerability in our squad right now? It's in the defense. Our centre backs are injured. We were actually just one centre back injury away from, disaster. So, excellent signing, very good signing, I would say, from City. Anyways, guys, I hope you have enjoyed the show. If you have enjoyed the show, please click on the bell icon and also on the like button and the subscribe button so that you get notifications whenever I come out with new videos. Also, do check out our blog, which is given in the link below. For latest articles, I write at least one article per day, so you'll enjoy reading it. Also, do follow us on Twitter using the link below given in the description. Just before I end the show, I'll talk about Renan Lodi for a bit. That was actually surprising for me that Renan Lodi went to Forest on loan, because I always thought that Lodi was kind of a perfect left back for us. Lodi is a kind of a unique species, you could say, coming from a Diego Simeone team, because you don't have players from a Diego Simeone team who are good on the ball, who are on the front foot, defenders who are on the front foot, who have good spatial recognition or good spatial awareness, who know how to defend space. I mean, Lodi was a marauding centre back. He was extremely good on the ball. People say Atletico told us about 120 million release clause or something, but most of the Spanish news, they say 60 million euro release clause or something from Renan Lodi. Well, if Forest could get Renan Lodi, I know it's on loan, we could have somehow worked out a deal for Renan Lodi. I do not know why we didn't go. I didn't. Some people even say that Atletico were a bit furious that we triggered the release clause of Rodri and how successful he's been at City. They say even that. A lot of reasons pointed out, but I still think that Renan Lodi could also have been a wonderful signing. He could just cap off a summer where there would be no hole left in the squad. Now, a bit of a hole. You could maybe question Sergio Gomez now, because he's. It's not to say that Sergio Gomez will not be successful at City or something like that, but Sergio Gomez, for me, a bit of an unknown quantity. How will he settle in? There are question marks. With the Renan Lodi, those question marks would not be there. But now we have signed a centre back. I think that left back position was the only issue. Now I'm not saying that without a left back we'll not win the Premier League or the Champions League, or we won't go deep in the cup competitions. Nothing like that. My worry was, without signing a left back and playing Cancelo in that left back position where he has to cut in all the time, you are limiting the potential of Cancelo, and you are also not unlocking the left hand side for City. That has always been my problem with us not getting a good left sided player. So that, because I feel for Cancelo. Cancelo has been, so much out of form, and all of it has to do with our system. How can you play a left-footed, a right-footed fullback on the left-hand side? I know he's been world class in that position, but you're not seeing the true skills of him. It's almost like playing Bernardo in a false nine position. He will do very well. That's not his best, right? That's not his best position. So for me, Renan Lodi was a bit surprising. So anyway, guys, see you all again and take care.